Hello, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to explore splash screen. Before we do that, let me run the program for you to see what we have on the screen. Here's an icon I have in my splash screen. You can see. Very good. Move to the second activity. What is most important in this our learning today is how you make the icon to be at the center without you using layout. We're just using the Android app launcher. So I'm going to rename this here for you to see. This is a background app icon. The background icon is the one that we are going to use throughout this. So first, let's go to the minimal first things that we are going to create. First is to get an image, a PNG, this particular one, as you can see. Second is to get price name. This is also an XML file, but it's a vector file that we do. Let's try and get this thing done. As for this, we go to Figma. I already opened it here. If you have this thing, Figma have what is known as flattened layer. Now let me create another one. Let me create for price. You can see just as it is there. When you create, now you can design it the way you want it to be. But remember the colors, when you export it into PNG, the colors will not matter. Now we are going to flatten it. And I'll flatten this particular image. This particular text is no longer editable. It's looking at it as an object. Now, as I flatten this, highlighting it, I can click on this export, then select PNG, SVG. Then when I export this option, you can look at it being exported here, because I already have the whole price exported before. So if you click on it, you will see it's being written here very small. But what we are going to do is we are going to view source page. Now, if you can look at the source page have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts for each of the alphabets. And one thing you should also take note of is the width and the height, the viewpoint. You can see the viewpoint from 0, 0 to 3 and this. The start of the viewpoint from X and Y as it is also shown here. But what we are going to take, our width is 37 and our height is 12. So it's for us to copy these whole parts, only the parts, and take note of 12 and 47. Now we'll come into our Android Studio to form this, our SVN. Come here like this, and then we paste. What we did is, now the Android, here the part here is called D. We change this to Android parts for each of them, just like this. Now the field for this one, Android field, you put Android field, then you put the color that you want it. As for me, I have green and blue there. Let me go back, and there is something, the field black. We are going to remove this field and have it put at the initial here for simplicity. So I'm going to clear it up because it's the same string that the same string of parts that I actually have here up there. I'm deleting it up. So now we have know how to create our vector image from Figma to this point. The next thing that we need to do now is to create this PG. This PG is actually the one that is going to be displayed. Now if you can look carefully, I've commented out the price name, which is the one that is gotten from the Figma to SVN like this. Let me uncomment it. You can see it's been written on top. Now I can comment this one. Depends on which one you want to use. Now you can see as it is written. But there's one thing I want us to activate such that we go into the main activity. Now this is where we do this thing. Let me explain this particular file too. This file will have a drawable, and we say okay, this should be a background of white, and then the drawable of another drawable is here, which is the whole price PNG. We say it should be centered at a height of 200 by 200. This side we can control it, and we show you where when we control and we see. Actually, the view that is showing here does not actually represent what will be shown in the window. So this particular one, it was 12 by 37. So I multiply 12 by 7. You will get 12 by 7. You get this thing. I was expanding in multiples of that 12 to get my desired ratio because the size was small. Now we have another thing here, which is rotation. This particular circle here, this one actually represents what is going to show on the screen. The rotation is there. I'm going to send you the code. I have 50 by 50, the pivot 50 by 50. I can see the size of the rotation also here, the size of the shape also here. So all that being said, let me now go into see the visuals of this. First, let me go into the styles, because we already formed this particular page as this. Now we go into the themes. Into the themes, we have something known as splash screen show splash. It's just a copy of this, but now because we want to add more element, we do not just wear a self-closing tag. We expand it to close a style. Then the theme is, you can look at the theme, it's the same theme. Then we added our name. Parent is inheriting from this particular parent. Now, one good thing, we want us to see how this work be doing. This is our splash screen that we're going to implement in our manifest. Let's go to our manifest first. I'll show you. Now in our manifest, if you look at it, it's only targeting the main activity, which is the start of the activity that has the intent filter of starts. That is where this thing is. But I'm going to put this thing in the, go back to our theme, in the base style, so that we can see when we are editing the size of this thing. Since I put in the base style now, this is yes. Now let's open our activity.main. Then we can see this thing because we have put it in the base style. So I would like us to the activity.main. You see it's already detached. I'll detach it for easy viewing. Now we go back to, because I say something here initially that this does not represent it. Let me do this like this so that we can be seeing it. Collapse that Android phone emulator. Now let's go to our app. This is where it's actually good. Let's switch between the icon and the image. Let me scroll this one over. Expand this for us to see. Good. Now I want to switch. You can see the other display here. It's not as suitable. You can see, but this is what it's going to show when your splash screen is going to show. Now if I do this thing to bigger one, I wanted it to be 12, so that I see that the size is reducing. 12 by this thing. Let's say 12 by 37, which was the original, and it has been specified in the image itself. I'm not showing there, but let's go back to that place. You can see I was talking about the viewpoints and so on. Where is it implemented? Look at the viewpoint, the width and height. The width is 37 and the viewpoint 37 by 12 to make it look nice. Now we'll come back to this because I want us to do something. We have changed it back to this, and you can see that the size is small, but here it's showing as if this is exactly what we need. But when you apply it as a background in the theme, this is how it's going to show. So because of that, I will just ignore this view and be viewing it, the one that in the layout of main activity, which is going to be shown there. Now Control Z, Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z to the 84 which you have. You can see what is actually shown there. In case you don't want to use this one, you can actually comment it out because you don't want to use the text. But remember, you are using the, when you are using the text, you can actually deal with this particular one. And you can see this one too is there. Let me just remove these two things out for you to see something. I was struggling with it to make it center. You can see something of this nature. It's just for you to add the Android height and the width for that particular image, for you to have what you need, and you will view it and you get it correctly. So again, one thing worth mentioning is this. In the manifest file, you can see that we supply, in the main thing is getting the splash screen, because the program name is splash screen itself, so it has created a splash screen. But now splash screen has shown splash, which is the a thing which we have created. I've discussed about it. You go back to it. Remember to remove this one such that your main splash will not have that. But once you remove it, so you're not going to see that. Thank you for watching. As for now, we have covered all. The program start from main activity and then goes back to that. Then after 5 seconds, let's look at it. 5 seconds are the delay. Then it goes to the second activity. But let's look at it critically. There are sometimes if you are using Flutter and you have the activity, you can create something like this and then paste not this code here, but you can just paste for the changing of background, because Flutter already implemented that background changing. Having a splash icon, you can copy this. Let's say you have this, copy this one and this one, and then you will use it for your Flutter backgrounds. And when you go to your Flutter project, you navigate to the Android part, and then you go to the themes or styles, as the case may be. The naming convention depends on the file which you are using. Then you go to there where maybe here you have launcher or something. Then you do drawable slash background app icon, just by having only this background app icon and this. Remember using that. But if you are using the name, you will include this one also inside. And also we have something here, white smoke, background white smoke, that we apply to the this background icon. You copy it also outside, and then you will change to what you want, like from here, because I've noticed that trying to do /color/white throws an error in the Flutter project. And then because of that, I've created this background white smoke. It's just ordinary solid with the white smoke color. That is all that has a reuse. Thank you for staying tuned. Like here we have values, colors, we have black and white. That is why it works as a background there. But in that your project maybe does not have, you can actually create these colors and then add it up, or you can create a background white pasting. Once again, thank you for staying tuned. We remain that you have any question on the splash screen or how to do it in this thing, you can ask us, and we can actually show you how to do it well. Bye.